Hi, and welcome to the Merryweather Knitting Podcast. My name is Gabriella, and I'm coming to you from my mother's home and kind of my childhood home in the United States of America in Illinois, and I'm so excited to chat with you today about knitting and crafting and a little bit of what I've been up to lately. If you're new, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, I'm so glad to have you back. If you're a returning viewer, you'll know that this is not my usual location. I usually report from my home in Germany, where I live with my husband and our daughter, but this last couple of weeks I've been here in the States visiting family with my daughter. My husband Nick is still in Germany. He didn't come along with us, but it's been a really special couple of weeks to just spend time with my mother. There may be background noises. This is the quietest the house has been since I've been here because everyone's gone. Who knows when they're going to come back? I don't know, but this house is usually very full of noise and full of laughter and love. I have 6 siblings. There are 6 of us, actually, siblings. So I have 5 younger siblings. And 4 of my siblings are here living at home with my mom right now. 2 of them are children, but 2 of my adult siblings are here living here. And it's really been so special to spend time with them. I don't think that so many of us have been together in a long time. So it's really been an amazing trip. If you've been following along, you'll also know that this is the first time that my daughter is meeting my side of the family, and it's just been so precious to see her spend time with her grandmother, her abuela, and just really enjoy her aunts and uncle. There are 5 of us girls and 1 boy. My youngest sibling is my brother. He's just 9, and it's really fun to see his bond with Esmeralda, my daughter. It's just so much fun. So I really have enjoyed our trip. It's been amazing. It was a journey to get here, but we've just been enjoying lots of family time. And I haven't gotten a ton of knitting done in this month. I've just been focused on that, and I haven't been on social media. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen I've probably been very quiet, although I feel like when someone's quiet, you don't really notice it. You mostly notice when they're showing up. So I'm sure that there's been plenty to see without my presence, but I haven't been on there, and I've actually enjoyed the little break. It's been really nice. I have missed my knitting community. I've missed watching my favorite podcasts because I haven't watched them since I've been here. I haven't really watched any podcasts. I've just been kind of spending and soaking up all the possible family time. We've been in the kitchen a lot, cooking a lot, just gathering around in the garden and playing, and it's been really special. But I have worked a little bit on knitting. I have 1 project to show you today, and I'm going to share that with you. I had talked about how I wasn't sure what I would bring for a project on this trip, and how I was a little nervous about bringing my Chiaogu needles because I actually was planning on just bringing a carry-on bag, but I didn't bring just a carry-on bag. I ended up checking a bag, so I actually brought my complete needle set just in case in the end, which was funny. But I also had ordered some wooden needles, some wooden circular needles, thinking that I wouldn't end up checking a bag. And I have used them on this project. I've just used my wooden circular needles. I got a pair of Haya bamboo needles. I've used the Haya bamboo needles before in their like double pointed needle sets for sleeves, so in bigger sizes, mostly I think over a US 4, at least I have them in. I don't have a set or anything, I just have a few pairs. And I think mostly bigger sizes like 8, 9, 7, those kinds of sizes I have in the bamboo Hayas. And I really like the way these bamboo needles feel, and I really like to knit stockinette with them. I don't know, I've never tried knitting cables or lace or colorwork with them. I feel like I wouldn't like it as much as I do just stockinette because I do like a sharp point, and my Chiaogus give me that sharp point. So I really enjoyed the Hayas. Sorry, my seat is creaking. My mom's house is like so beautiful, and it's just full of antiques and beautiful like pieces that she's collected. And her chairs, she has the most beautiful like antique chairs and just the coolest style. I'm going to try to put a little bit of film from her home in this video just to show you what I'm surrounded by and kind of where I grew up. In my early childhood, we moved around a lot, but from the age of about 13 on, we did live in this house, and it's full of like memories and different stages and phases of life. It's been so special to be back and to visit. But the project I've been working on is a vest project, a slip over. And I've never knit a slipover or a vest before. I've never owned one before, I think. I mean, unless I've forgotten, I think I never had one before. I honestly never really saw the appeal of one because I thought, you know, what about your arms? Like, my arms are the part of me that gets cold. From a very pragmatic, practical standpoint, I always saw vests or slipovers as just impractical. But actually, it's really nice to keep your core body warm. I've tried this on and I felt immediately how warm I was just wearing it. So actually it's pretty practical, which I didn't know. And I'm sure many of you know that much better than I do, but I didn't. And the other thing about them is that I've been seeing them all over on kind of fashion magazines and websites and blogs and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of really cool looks with vests or slipovers, like sweater vests. And of course, in vintage fashion, vests and slipovers were, I feel like, worn more in the past. So I've seen amazing vintage patterns for vests, but although I love vintage fashion and I love kind of like time traveling with my clothes, using clothes as kind of a costume for kind of, you know, the story I want to tell, I've never worn or knit or had a vest. So I saw this pattern and I thought it looked so beautiful, so practical, and so cool. So I wanted to knit it. It also seemed like a very doable project, a very simple project. I needed a stockinette project because I didn't have anything. I was anticipating finishing my sew faded, which I still have a little bit left on. You'll see when I get home. I mean, I think I'll probably upload my previously recorded video because I haven't been able to upload here in the States, which is why you haven't seen me for a while. I'll probably upload that video, so you'll see my status on that. But I'm hoping to finish that right away when I get home. But this was going to be my next stockinette project and my next kind of, you know, in the round, mindless, cozy knit. And I thought that would be the perfect project for my visit here because all the knitting I've been doing and all the knitting I had anticipated doing was just going to be kind of TV knitting, knitting while talking, not really focused knitting. And I'm so glad that I decided to bring this and nothing too complicated because that has indeed been the case. And this is just basically ribbing, stockinette, back and forth in the round, and it's almost done actually, my vest. So the pattern that I'm using is called the vest number 2 or number 2 vest by My Favorite Things. I will leave the link in the description box below in the show notes, as I'll leave everything below. Of course, if you haven't already noticed, there are also going to be timestamps of this video so you can click through wherever you want to see. But I am knitting the My Favorite Things vest number 2 or number 2 vest pattern. And this pattern is a really, really simple, really intuitive pattern. If you have any experience with construction of sweaters or, you know, really knitting construction, you'll easily be able to knit this pattern. The pattern is originally written for, I think, DK or fingering weight yarn, held double with a mohair silk lace yarn. So you can imagine that fabric and the way it appears. But I decided, I think it must be a DK with that fabric because I decided to knit it in an aran weight yarn. And I really am happy I did that. I love mohair silk. I love, you know, combining it with different yarns, but I just felt like I wanted a little bit something different for this. And I may knit this again one day with that combination, but I really like the idea of kind of a more rustic slipover. You know, I'm planning on wearing this with kind of like I have a shirt dress, like a button-up shirt dress, or more tailored styles, and I like the idea of combining a kind of rustic yarn slipover with that. I think it's just brings in a little bit of earthiness to a kind of more tailored, refined look. So that's my plan, and I'm really happy with the results so far. I'll show you it. I'll first, before I show you my project and the progress I've made, which is a lot of progress in the last 3 weeks, although I feel like I've definitely knit a lot less than I usually would. I think this would have been done a lot quicker had I been home, or maybe the same amount of time, but I would have done other projects simultaneously. But I haven't been knitting every single day. I haven't been knitting as often as I would at home. But I knit this pullover or slipover vest. I don't know. What do you call this kind of thing? I would love to know. I knit it out of the West Yorkshire Spinners 100% Jacobs aran yarn. So it's fleece Jacobs yarn. This is the little band. and I knit it in the black brown colorway. It's an aran weight yarn, and I really love the way it looks. I think it's beautiful. I'm really pleased with it. This is how it looks like in the skein. I have got 5 of these. I'm on the 4th one right now, and I'm not really sure. I think I might just need 4. We'll see, but I love this yarn. It's so beautiful. I'll definitely get use out of this in some other way, whether that be in color work or maybe I'll knit, I don't know, a hat or something for Nick, my husband, with this. We'll see. But there it is. It's just a lovely black brown is accurate. It's very dark, rich brown, and I really love it. It's obviously a little bit there are little specks of different colors in it because it's very natural and very rustic. It's a very rustic yarn. Very rustic. I'm sure it'll soften up and things, but I actually really like it. It's very sheepy. It smells very sheepy, freshly shorn. Like it really, I love the smell. I love the sheepy smell. Oh, it's so beautiful. I really love it. So this is my little bag. I'm carrying it in one of these Love and Knitting bags, which is falling apart a little bit, but we make do. And here it is. Here's my progress so far. On the number 2 vest by My Favorite Things, or vest number 2, I think it's number 2 vest. Here it is. So I finished the complete body, finished the ribbing, and now I'm on the neckline. I just have a little bit left to go on the neckline actually, and then I'll have the armbands, and then I'll be finished with this project. I'm here in the States for, just like I think 4 or 5 more days, which is really, bittersweet. I'm excited to go home and see Nick, but I'm going to miss this time. It's been so special. I'm going to miss it here so much. So it's always that way when you live far away from family. It's always like bittersweet to leave and to go and to come. It always feels like you're leaving people behind no matter where you're going, but you're also going to people home in a way, either way you go. So yeah, but I'm happy that I have this project. It's kind of going to be my memory project for this trip because I'll have completed it. I've started it and finished it just in my time here. So it'll be a wonderful piece full of memories. Really, really special piece. So here's my slip over, and I knit it in the size medium, also because I wanted it to be, I think it's oversized anyway, but I really wanted it to be nice and oversized. Also, I think it's just kind of like wool is pretty forgiving in any way, and I just thought it'd be better to be a little oversized rather than too fitted for this one. Now that I've knitted, I kind of think I might like to make a more fitted one at some point. I have to be honest though, for knitting the body, I accidentally followed the directions for the length for the small, so it's a little short. I'm a little nervous, but I'm pretty sure if I just block it out a little and stretch it out, it'll be fine. The fabric doesn't need to be too dense. It can be loosened up a little bit. So I will do it. I will probably block it out and stretch it a little tiny bit, but I love it. I love this pattern. It's really lovely. As I said, I think it might not be the most suitable for a very, very beginner, just because there are some things which, if you don't have previous knowledge of knitting construction, just a little bit of knowledge, it might be a bit confusing to you. A tiny bit confusing, but I mean, you'd figure it out. I'm pretty sure people would figure it out. And if you're knitting this and you have any questions, I'm sure that you can contact the designer. And of course you can contact me too if you have any questions, always, via Ravelry or on Instagram. I would always be happy to answer if I can. So it's a really fun pattern. I've loved it. It's been just beautiful. And here are the Haya bamboo needles that I'm knitting it on. I knit the body on size US 8s, which I think is 5mm. I may be wrong. And these are US 7s, 4.5 millimeters needles. And this is just kind of for the band and for the bottom part. I don't know if those are the called for needle sizes. I think it might have been a greater contrast of needle size was called for in the pattern, but I saw another project on Ravelry who also knit this out of aran weight yarn or worsted weight yarn, and I liked the result they had knitting it with these two needle sizes. So I went ahead and just kind of copied them and did it this way. I will try to leave that project below as well. That was a beautiful one. That was very inspiring for me in knitting this in an aran weight yarn rather than in the called for DK and lace weight. So it's a wonderful project. I've enjoyed it so much. It's been so meditative. It's been the perfect project to just do while sitting and chatting, or being in the garden, or watching TV or a movie. We don't really watch too much TV in my family, but in the evenings we have been watching a show. My sister and I, who I have not spent that much time with her in a really long time. In this trip, I've spent a ton of quality time with her. It's been the biggest joy. She and I have every evening been watching a Korean drama, which this is the first Korean drama I've ever watched, but I highly recommend it. It's so much fun and so good, and it's called Crash Landing Into You. It's kind of funny. It's got like a really cool sense of humor, but it's also kind of like a romance, kind of, I don't know, kind of like it is a drama, but it is very kind of toned down. I like the way that they have things. It's not in any way like raunchy or too over the top in that way, which I feel like a lot of the time American shows are pretty, yeah, there's a lot of, they're very explicit in different ways, which this show is not. And I think it may be a cultural thing, which I really have enjoyed, and it's really fun to watch with my little sister, who, she's not so little. She's now 20, she's almost 21, but she's my little tiny sister, so I've really loved watching it with her, and it's been such a blast. So that is all I have to show you of knitting, what I've been making. I have one more thing that I brought. I brought some cotton yarn and a crochet hook, my wooden crochet hook, which I have not touched. I had hoped that I would maybe crochet my little bucket hat while I was here, but it didn't happen. We'll see if it ends up happening. And I also brought a skein of my beautiful Alice Starmore Hebridean 2-ply yarn to knit a swatch. I thought maybe I won't start in the project well here, but I brought my needles just in case, and I thought I would knit my swatch while I'm here. So I still have a few days. I'm going to try to do that because I'm so excited about casting on my Elizabeth I pullover, and I'm going to be having a little giveaway for that cast on. So if you are wanting to partake, or if you've started to partake in the Tudor Roses knit along, now's the time to join, now's the time to post. I'm going to be doing a little giveaway probably in about the next 3 or 4 weeks, so not right away. But I'm really excited to share more about that with you. In order to be entered into the giveaway, you should post under the hashtag Tudor Roses KAL on Instagram, maybe a project, you know, a progress photo, or even photo of your yarn as you get ready to cast on. I will be drawing from that thread, from that hashtag. So if you go ahead and post on there, that would be wonderful. And you can also go and join the chatter on my Ravelry group thread, the Merryweather knitting group on Ravelry. You can post on there your kind of progress, your pictures, or yeah, anything you like, and I'll draw from there too. So I'm really, really excited about that. If you're not familiar, I am hosting a knit along for the Tudor Roses book by Alice Starmore. It's a knit along that will run the whole entire year of 2021, and I'm so excited to finally cast on my first project from this book. It's going to be so wonderful. And this knit along is also being co-hosted with me by 2 other amazing podcasters, Bella of the 100 Acre Wool podcast and Sophie of the Becca Creations Knitting podcast. As I said, I've not been really up to date on all my favorite knitting podcasters, so I'm not sure, but I know that both of them have received their yarn, and I'm really sure that Bella has started her project, and I've seen a little bit of hers, which I'm so in awe of. It's so beautiful. Her Anne Boleyn pattern is just so gorgeous. So I am in love with seeing just the progress that people are making. So that's the update on that. I can't wait to share more with you, and I can't wait to start. I'm just like itching to begin. It's going to be wonderful. But yeah, that's all I have to show you. That's all I brought with me. I have a little bit of footage to share with you in this video, and I also have a couple of interviews that I have recorded for you with little family members of mine who love the fiber arts and fiber crafts, who are working on different projects, crocheting and knitting. One of which is my little cousin Scarlet, who I can't wait to share with you. She's made a couple of really, really fun projects, and she's not so little. She's actually pretty grown up, but for me, she's still my little cousin, and she's so beautiful, and she's made the coolest, most wonderful projects in crochet. So I can't wait to share that with you. I hope you enjoy. And the other interview I have is my sister Chloe, who I have taught to knit. I've actually taught her to knit a couple of times, but this time she's really caught on and is knitting every day, making progress, and I'm so proud of her, and she's just a natural. So I can't wait to share that with you too. We'll see if I get anyone else to share, but we'll see. I'm hoping I'll get my mom to come on. If I don't, I don't, but you'll see at the end of this video if I do. So I hope you enjoy the rest of this video. I hope your month has been wonderful, and I can't wait to catch up with you. Please leave a comment letting me know what you're working on and what you're up to. As usual, you can always find me on Ravelry. My username is gabriellak there, and my group for this podcast is called the Merryweather Knitting Podcast Group. I think it's just called Merryweather Knitting, actually. It's just the Merryweather Knitting group on Ravelry. Please join there and chat and share. I love to catch up with you there. You can also find me on Instagram as Merryweather Knitting. Everything will be linked below in the description box and the show notes, so you can join me and see what I'm working on that way as well. I love to be inspired by all that I see in those different places, so I hope that you'll enjoy it too. Otherwise, I'll see you again next time for more knitting and crafting chat. I hope you have a wonderful week. Hi everyone! I'm here today with my cousin Scarlet, who is a crocheter and a crafter, and I thought that I would interview her a little bit about her crafts and her projects so you can show us all the cool things she's been making. Scarlet, how long have you been crocheting?
Ever since like Virginia, so at least like 9 years, I want to say.
9 years.
So yeah, a while.
Yeah.
But I haven't really been like crocheting and like actually making things since like last year or the year before, I think, because I've just been like finger crocheting and like doing things
and
like
just
that.
Starting to get into it more and more now too.
Yeah.
And because your mom is a big kind of like artist too. Both of our
very
moms are
crafty.
very crafty and very artistic, and both of our moms like use pretty much everything and like make something new out of it. They're like very artistic. And so did you feel like you learned a lot from her too? Yeah,
she taught me how to crochet and how to do all that stuff.
Yeah, that's the same with my mom, except she never taught me how to crochet. She just like never wanted to. But I'm so excited that you did learn because you made such cool things, and she's gonna show you some things that she made. My sister Chloe is passing over the crocheted items now.
So this is a scarf that I made. I don't really know how to explain it, but yeah, I got like some white fuzzy yarn from like, I think it was Walmart or something, and then I just like crocheted it, and there's the fuzzy yarn from Walmart.
You can show it. Look at it. It's so fun and fluffy, and I was telling Scarlet it reminds me of snow. It's like just really soft and cozy, and it probably is washable too.
I think so.
Which is really nice.
Yeah, it's really nice and soft.
Oh, it's so pretty. And so you made this cool scarf. And how did you make this scarf? Like, how did you crochet it? Is it like...
So I started off by just like making one long, just normal crochet, and then I went back and then went over it a second time. And then after I did like this little loop thing, I don't know how to explain it, but you like wrap it around your wrist and then like pull it through, and then wrap it around and pull it through. Yeah.
So like, it's kind of like almost like hand crochet.
Yeah.
With all the... So did you do like a couple of strands of it?
Well, so I started like... So I did this 2 times. So I did one long piece, and then I went over it, crocheting, and then I did the hand crochet. So I did that twice, and then I tied it here. My mom helped me with that part.
This is so cool. It looks so pretty. It's such a cool piece. And it's also like a statement piece because it's kind of between like a scarf, but it's also like an accessory you can just wear. It's kind of like a cool necklace. I hope that it's kind of
of course. Yeah.
But it's so pretty. It's really, really cool.
Thank you. Yeah.
I really like it. And I also think like it's so fun because we were just talking about how it's fun to get resourceful with all the kinds of like yarn you can find. If you find it like at Walmart, you find it even like at the grocery store or at thrift stores. Sometimes you can find really fun things and get really creative with it. Oh, it looks so pretty. It really, really does. And what are you making with the rest of the yarn?
So this, I kind of started making like a hat for my sister's baby doll, but I think I made it a little too small. And then the top, I left like a space because I wanted to try and make, because when I was younger, I made them all the time, like you wrap it around your fingers and then you make the little puff balls.
Yes! I saw this recently. I've never actually made one though.
Yeah, but I think I made it too small, so I think I have to go back and make it a little bit bigger.
It's so cute.
Thank you.
And it like looks like a little snow.
I know.
It really like looks like snow. I think it's so cute. Oh my gosh.
The nice thing is with this yarn is that it looks a lot more like fabric than it does more crocheting.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were talking too about how crocheting, sometimes the fabric that crochet makes, it like looks like it has a very strong texture,
Yeah.
which is really pretty, and I actually really like it. Like, I especially like it. I was trying to make a basket, and it didn't really like.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
I kind of ended up like throwing it away because it just didn't. I want to use the yarn for something else. Because it like just the texture, and it was super small. I wanted like it to be bigger. Yeah. But I love the texture that crochet gives. But sometimes you want a different, like a more of a different fabric, and so the yarn itself can make the fabric so nice and so cool. Like this one that I made. This one is like, thank you. It was actually super easy. It was super easy. If you know how to knit and purl, which is just 2 stitches on knitting, you can make this, and it's really simple. But you hold 2 kinds of yarns together, and that makes it like fluffy. And I really liked that because otherwise it's just like a straight yarn. Like, I like love this like soft, kind of like a halo, you know? I really like that. And so I think it's so cool when you experiment with different textures to like see how it changes the fabric and how like the texture turns out, and it really makes it cozy. So I really like it. Yeah. Have you ever learned to knit?
I tried, I think, a couple years back, and I did it for a little, and then I kind of forgot. And but crocheting has always been easier, just because like I've done it forever, so I now can do it like without looking and doing all that stuff, which is nice. But like knitting, I feel like for me it takes a little bit more concentration because I just don't know how to do it yet. But
I feel like that's the thing too. It's like when you first start to learn, it's a big like effort. Like I felt that same way with crochet at the beginning because I learned to knit first. And so for me, crochet takes a lot of focus still. But like I really have to make sure I'm figuring out, like for me it's not as intuitive. And so for me now, knitting is super intuitive, but a lot of the time if you're like watching a show or like just relaxing, you want to have something to do that you don't have to focus too much on. So it is like a kind of learning curve, but it's really fun once you learn it. That's what I'm going to do with crochet. And Chloe just learned to knit, my sister. She just learned to knit, and she's like just still learning, but it's not that hard. Right? My sister Chloe's right here. Chloe, do you want to say hi? Maybe she'll get interviewed too.
Hi.
And Chloe, was it that difficult to knit?
I kind of got the hang of it, but sometimes Gabby has to help me and check to see if I did it all right.
Yeah, but you do it really well too. You kind of like, the first thing that was hard to know that if you were knitting into the right loop, like if it was the correct one, because there's like 2 sides, and sometimes you have to make sure you go into the front and not the back. Thing. Chloe has something to share.
Well, Scarlet made it.
Scarlet, you want to show this to? This is another craft that they just made today.
So it's really a little like fairy garden, and it's like a little pot, but it has like Chloe helped me with this part, but there's like a little fox and then a little stone bridge, and then it has like a potted plant in it. And
it's so cute.
Thank you.
And it's so cute because it like you can keep it indoors. I mean, is it for indoors or outdoors?
I mean, I think you can. I didn't really look at the plant. But I think you can just like, I don't know. It was indoors there, so I'm guessing.
And maybe like in the winter you can keep it indoors, and then
or maybe by winter.
It's by window. It's so cute. It'll bring like a little cozy vibe. This is Chloe's. Chloe can show her. Do you want to come in?
Yeah.
You can come in and share.
Mine is ladybug themed, so she's the fairy sitting on a ladybug, and this one says fairy crossing, has a ladybug on it.
Isn't that so cute? Yeah. I love those little things. They're so sweet. They're like very whimsical and kind of like magical. I really love fairies too. I think they're so cute. I love them. I really do. Oh my gosh. Well, are there any other crafts that you want to talk about or share about?
I don't think so. I think that's mostly what I've been doing, but I've been doing some like watercolor painting and acrylic painting on the side.
Have you?
Yeah, but it's been more like kind of just like messing around, seeing, because I've seen lots of like really cool things where you take watercolor and then like kind of make a rough design, and then you go over it with like a black pen or something, and then like more define it.
It looks so pretty. That sounds so pretty. I feel like I can visualize what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't really know how to explain it. I probably should have kept them, but
it's so fun.
Thank you. Yeah,
that's really fun. That's really cool. Are you homeschooled still?
I am. Yeah.
So in your homeschool, do you guys have like times where you also spend to do arts and like crafts and stuff like that?
Well, it's kind of like we have the opportunity to do more. It's not that we have like exact times that we do, but it's like because we're homeschooled, we have more time to do stuff like that. Yeah. So in a way,
yeah, because I was homeschooled too, and I feel like it so helped me learn a lot about crafting and arts and like kind of explore that, because I think you have a different kind of structure of day. And
Yeah.
like, you kind of have
It's
the
a little more
ability-
hands-on than it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more hands-on, and you kind of get to follow your interests more.
Yeah.
And if you're interested in that kind of thing, you can really go deep into it.
Yeah.
So that's so much fun. That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So Scarlet, thank you so much for joining me
Yeah.
on Merryweather Knitting. It's been so fun to have you.
Yeah.
And everyone, let me know what you think about Scarlet's amazing projects. If you have any other kinds of ideas about this, do you have more yarn of this kind?
I think I used most of it, but yeah.
Scarlet made a scrunchie,
Yeah.
which is so cool.
Thank you. So it's just like a hair tie, and then I went over it and kind of did the second step that you would do for crocheting. So you take like your yarn and then you loop it around and pull it through, and then I just tied it off at the end. But yeah, because of how like poofy the yarn is, it looks a lot more like full, which is really nice. It looks a little bit like more like this one, which is what I was trying to go for. So
this is so cool.
Thank you.
I am so inspired by this because I wanted to make a scrunchie case, like I wanted to sew it, but it just didn't work out. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It was really hard for me. So this looks so cool.
Thank you. Yeah.
And it wasn't doable then too.
Oh yeah, I did it within like 5 minutes. It was really? Yeah, because I only had to go over a few times, and it really depends on how like full you want yours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was able to do it on the first try, and I didn't even look up. I saw a video like a few months back, and I was like, oh, maybe I could try it because I had still had leftover yarn.
Yeah.
So I just tried it, and I thought
This is so cute. I'm so inspired by this. Thank you so much for showing me, Scarlet. So I'm here with my sister Chloe, who's also a new knitter. Chloe, when did you first learn to knit, actually?
Well, I didn't really knit for a while, but I remember I crocheted, which is kind of similar. I'm still working on it, but I'm crocheting a blanket.
That's true,
And
because
it's
our
like-
mom crochets. Did mom teach you?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
A
we
friend
kind
showed
of,
you.
our friends did. And it's really thick yarn, and we just hand did it.
Yeah, it looks so cool. She sent me a picture of it. I have yet to see it because it's at your friend's house still, right?
Yeah.
You haven't seen it for a long time, but I'm excited about seeing it when it's finished. It's gonna be so, so pretty. So Chloe, before you start talking about your current project, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself, how old you are, what you like to do, and what made you decide that you wanted to relearn to knit?
Okay. So I'm 12, and
She just turned 12 actually, just a few days ago.
And what do? I like to do soccer, and I like to dance, but I feel like recently I haven't really been doing that much stuff that like is consistent, and I want to start doing that, and I want to like get my hands to do something, so that's
I love
why
that.
I wanted to do it.
I love that. And she's taken knitting so naturally. She started so well, and she's just been such a natural. So I really, really enjoyed watching her learn and kind of seeing how she progresses and what she's kind of decided to make. Why don't you tell them about where we got this and where you got your project idea, all that kind of thing.
Well, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it a blanket because it's very hard to make even just a tiny piece for me.
No, you're doing so well.
But I might just make it a scarf or a blanket, I'm not sure.
Yeah. But where did you get your yarn?
We got it at Stars.
Stars. And what is Stars?
It's a retail shop.
It's a little retail shop, and these needles were also from Stars. And she kind of started doing a little piece. We just started a little piece, so she learned to knit, and I'm trying to teach her to purl, but she's a little intimidated by purling.
Yeah.
But she's gonna learn before I leave. She's definitely gonna learn to purl and knit, because I told her once you know how to purl and knit, you can pretty much make anything at all, and you can just completely make. You can make sweaters and mittens and socks, anything you want. So this is what she's done so far.
I still have some loops in there.
There are little parts, but it's very normal, I think. For your first piece, there are little like loops and kind of uneven parts, but that's very normal. It's just the learning process. And she's done a few rows and really, really worked so hard on it. It's really fun to do together. We sit together every once in a while, mostly like at least once a day. We kind of spend at least 15 minutes knitting together. And she kind of just works on her project and I work on mine. And do you like to work with this yarn?
Yeah. But sometimes it gets stuck between.
Oh yeah, it splits sometimes.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard, but you've gotten really good at recognizing when it's going to split and not letting it split. That's been really, really good. And I think it's an acrylic yarn. It's definitely synthetic. It's very, very strong and shiny, and it has like a pretty gleam on it, which is really, really pretty like shine, right? I like the way that the yarn shines. It looks really pretty. So this is her first project. And Chloe, what do you think you would want to make in the future? Do you think that you have any ideas about things you would like to make in the future? Or are you kind of just enjoying this one right now?
I want to make Esme some socks.
You want to make
when I'm good at it.
That's so sweet. She's the best auntie ever. Chloe, what is it like to be an aunt? Do you like it?
That's my favorite.
Oh my gosh, she's the best auntie. When Esme sees her, she just gets so excited and she wants to be held by her and play with her and she laughs. Chloe always makes her laugh. You're really the best auntie. What kind of socks will you make her? What kind of color do you want?
Whatever color she likes. I don't know.
She likes lots of colors. You can be free to choose actually. But then I have to teach you how to go in the round. How to knit in the round in a circle before I go. But it's very easy. Pretty much just knit and knit and knit and knit. It's really fun. And then it grows. You don't even have to switch.
Do I have to learn purl for that?
Well, you kind of do have to learn purl because you maybe need to do a cuff. Otherwise, it will curl over on the edge maybe. Well, I mean, actually, garter stitch doesn't really curl. It's actually not true. Oh yeah, it will because it will be stockinette. It will be stockinette if it's in the round. So you kind of do need to know how to purl. But socks are a really good idea. Maybe we have to do that before I go.
Yeah.
But Chloe, what else do you like to do and make? Well, you like to dance and you like to play soccer. Those are two things. That's really true.
And
but she also is very creative and loves to make things. She's made little kind of clay animals and clay food that are like kind of like with little faces on them. They're so mini things. She's so creative and so good at that kind of thing and so artistic. You are.
I like to make like things because you can just do whatever you want and it's just
yeah, it's true. Is there anything else that you're kind of thinking you want to learn or try as far as creative things go or crafts go?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
There's so many things out
Probably
there.
like more knitting and crocheting.
What do you crochet?
So I'm gonna crochet little animals.
Oh yeah, I know. We like looked at all these cool patterns together. There's so many cool animals and like
there's a strawberry basket.
Oh yeah, I showed that on my podcast because I failed making it.
Oh.
It didn't work out.
What
I
happened?
tried to get Chloe to join me in knitting the strawberry basket or crocheting the strawberry basket. It was just, I started and it was too small and I wanted it to be a little bigger. So I ripped it out actually.
Oh.
But I heard that you can make it bigger. So I might try again to make it bigger. I'm not really sure. But I'm either going to try to make it bigger or I'm going to try to make a hat. Like a bucket hat.
Oh, so cute, yeah.
Do you like bucket hats?
Yeah, I do.
They're kind of cute, right?
Yeah.
So I might try to make one, but I'm not sure yet because I feel like I have so many projects I want to make. It's kind of hard to choose which one to do first.
Yeah.
But I love it, Chloe. I love to learn with Chloe, and it's way more fun to knit with Chloe than it is when I'm alone. Chloe's the most fun knitting partner in the world. So, Chloe, is there anything else you want to share before we say goodbye?
I don't think so.
Thank you so much for joining me on the Merryweather Knitting Podcast. Chloe is my little sister, and I've been so happy to have her here. But hopefully, Chloe will come visit me and maybe live with me. Just kidding, but actually, really, that would be our dream. That would be the best. So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully Chloe will one day be on again because with a new project. Well, we'll see you next time. Bye!